Are you ready to kickstart your week with some dirt slinging and tire slaying action motorsports radio that packs the biggest gas?
Hi, Ken Block here.
Hey, my name's Jolene Van Butte.
What's up, Brian Deegan?
Vaughn Ginn Jr. here.
They've been thrown into one show that has broken down the barriers of what a motorsports radio show should be. This is the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, with support from General Tire, KMC Wheels, Dirtfish, Gibson Exhaust, and MTX Audio, with your host, who also happens to spend his weekends flying 800 horsepower trucks through the dirt, Jim Beaver.
When was the last time you saw an off-road or rally driver begging to get behind the wheel of a NASCAR IndyCar? Yep, not happening, but you sure see these pavement racers begging to drive our cars.
And his partner in crime every week, a self-proclaimed Canadian moto chick who was jumping triples and taking podiums before most guys even learned to ride, Amy Hood.
No one knows how to say my last name. Like, is it really that hard? Amy Hood, like I'm from the hood. Don't get it twisted.
Sit back, strap in, and be prepared to join us as we take you through a motorsports ride like no other. Here is the man who carries a steering wheel in one hand and a mic in the other, Jim Beaver.
Good morning and welcome to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver, Amy Hood here, kicking things off on yet another packed episode of your favorite radio show. I don't know, Hood, we got Shannon Campbell, Ultra 4 winner in 2 divisions. We've got Colton Haaker, somebody I know you're very familiar with, 1 King of the Motos, X Games silver medal in snowbike, and come to find out, Colton actually hates the snow. He's only been in it like less than a handful of times. But he is a Winter X Games medalist. And then, we've got Robin Leach from Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous on air today because he is the Mint 400 Grand Marshal. So a little champagne wishes and caviar dreams. I don't know, is that too old for you, Hood, or do you remember Lifestyles of Rich and Famous?
I don't. I mean, I remember the Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. Good Charlotte song. Is that
yeah.
Is that close up?
If you remember the show song, I mean, that tied in with the TV show and everything else. So, a little mix of everything. It's got an off-road tie in there, though. So, I don't know. We'll have some fun with it. But, opening things up. Amy and I, first 2 segments, man, is wide open. You guys got any questions? Make sure and hit us up at JimBeaver15, at AmyHood71. And we're going to take a short break, and we'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it. So when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry. It's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Do you race or are you a weekend warrior? Have you checked on the date on your helmet recently? Don't get caught off guard by using an outdated helmet. Impact Racing, the leader in motorsport safety, has new SA 2015 helmets to fit your budget. Whether you're looking for a helmet with a full carbon fiber shell to take you to victory at the Indy 500 or just looking for some helmets for a weekend at Glamis, Impact Racing has a helmet for you. Find out more information at impactraceproducts.com or on Facebook at Impact Safety. Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver, Amy Hood here, kicking things off, and got to ask you guys a favor. This one isn't going to be the traditional Project Action rate, review, and subscribe, but it is something that definitely helps me out. So right now, our partners over there at Podcast One, they got a survey going on for all their podcasts, and obviously the Down and Dirty Radio Show and Project Action are a part of that. And so it keeps me getting paid and Amy getting paid if you guys go and take the survey. So just go over to Podcast One. I think it's like My Survey or /survey. It's right there on the front page. You go to Podcast One. It says survey, like massive, right on the header. Go and take it. Make sure and click the box for Down and Dirty Show and click the box for Project Action. It takes like 3 minutes to fill out. It's totally anonymous, but it helps me. And it helps Amy continue to draw a paycheck. So please go and do it. Please, because we need the money. Right, Hood?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, I need money because most people celebrate Valentine's Day on this lovely day. But for me, it's Taco Tuesday, and I'm going to be spending all my hard-earned paycheck down at the beach eating some tacos on Taco Tuesday.
Tacos and margaritas?
What ladies like to do.
What? I said tacos and margaritas. You a margarita person?
No, I'm allergic to tequila, Jim. You know this.
Don't even tell Jim Riley that. My gosh, man. Like our good friend Jim Riley with Azuñia. No, he's got... And
it might be different. I know that I'm allergic to like a Jose, whatever. I might have just... I think I just go and tell people that I'm allergic to tequila with get away with not drinking it. Because unless you want to see Amy on the ground, I don't get any tequila.
I've been there. I've seen you on the ground before. It's not a pretty sight.
No, you have. No way. Not even.
No, I'm literally looking at a bottle. Jim sent me like this Christmas package, and it's got like all 4 of his kinds of tequila. Well, he's got this one, and it's like called Azuñia Black, and I don't know, it's like a couple $100 a bottle, but it's hand signed by the guy that bottled it. Like this is bottle number 7260. They hand number them and hand sign them because it's that. What's that?
Wow.
Yeah, it's called
That's amazing.
Yeah, but like Jim keeps going, hey, have you tried it? I'm like, no, the bottle's too pretty, dude. Like, I'll never be able to afford another bottle of this. Like, I don't want to drink it.
I know, it's worth something.
Yeah, like I'm like, man, you gave me like a couple $100 bottle of booze, dude. I'm scared to tap into this thing, but it'll get drank sometime. I don't know. Maybe we'll wait till you come and do like. Well, here's the deal. We got this fancy bottle of tequila here in the studio. So when you finally come to Arizona and we do a show live together in the studio, we'll bust open the bottle while we're on air and we'll take shots of tequila. How about that?
Oh, you know that's going to be happening, and it's probably going to be the most entertaining show of all time.
Good thing we're tape delayed before we go to AM/FM because there's going to be a lot of bleeping going on. I think the people who do the censors of this show will. Yeah, they're going to have their work cut out for them that week. So,
yeah, probably.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So how are you doing? I'm recovered from my soreness from Parker, but I know you had a bit of a rough weekend. How's everything going?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely had a tougher weekend in Moto Jam. I unfortunately can't talk too much about it, but I had a little get up, tried to do a wheelie, might have ended up almost doing a backflip, but hey, I'm okay. I just more hurt my pride than anything. But I mean, those monster trucks, they're no joke. And, you know, you hit hard. If you hit hard, you hit hard, and you're going to feel it. And I learned that the hard way probably today or on the weekend. And I had to sit out a show, and it was really kind of heartbreaking and devastating because I was, you know, making my way to win that championship, and I moved back down to 5th place, still in front of Gravedigger, so I'm happy about that. But I'm still in the mix to still finish. I could still finish 2nd. We have a lot of shows left. I'm not too far behind in points. I actually had such a big lead right off the start that it really helped kind of. I was able to take a whole show off and still be ahead of, you know, like 4 other people, which is awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you and Kristen have like the full-on frenemies thing going on, like when you're on track, like you're like, I'm still ahead of Gravedigger. I just got to ask, do you guys like have the full-blown, like, I know you guys are close, but is it like full frenemies type of thing?
Well, duh. I mean, everybody wants to beat Gravedigger. Gravedigger is the truck to beat, right?
Yeah.
And I have to, you know, hats off to her. She had a great weekend. You know, okay, great weekend. She drove amazing, and she had probably one of the best runs that I've ever seen, you know, her have so far this year. But I have to give her, she's got those fans on her side. Like, she goes out for every competition, and you know, she gets 10s across the board because she's Gravedigger, and obviously because she's a great driver, and you know, and she knows how to do it. I mean, we both, like, I don't see any other drivers other than me and her. You know, we go over to the fan judges beforehand. We introduce ourselves. We shake their hands, kiss their babies, you know, whatever is going to get us a 10 on those scoreboards. But that's what it's about, you know. It's a show. We put on a live entertainment performance that, you know, we want to interact with the fans. That's what they come for. They spend their hard-earned money for them to come and get an experience like they'll never, ever get again. So for my opening ceremony, like for my opening thing, you know, we get on the microphone in the crowd. Like, I grab every little kid around me and all the girls. I have this thing. It's called my Girl Squad. So I come out, I talk about, like, you know, being a badass female empowerment. Woo! And I always round up a bunch of girls in the crowd, and they're part of my Girl Squad. And we talk about, you know, sticking it to the guys and doing it for the girls. And you know, I've had so many of the moms from these kids actually go and message me and send me an email after and just say how much, like, you know, I made their kids' life, and they've, you know, that was the best experience ever. And like, that is what really hits home for me. And that's what I get out of it. Like, I love that stuff. It gets me excited just to be able to give, you know, some kid an experience that they'll never get again in their life. And it's cool.
Yeah, it's
I think that's where I win. I think that's my winning quality. Like, you know what, I think I'm becoming a much better driver, and I'm winning lots of stuff, but I think I kill everybody on the fan engagement because I am, like, you know me, Jim. Like, I'm all about that. I am a show woman at heart.
Yeah, you could have been like a ringmaster at the circus, I think. I think you missed your calling. I don't think it was monster trucks. I think you should have been working for the circus, like the ringmaster or something like that. Like, you totally could pull that hood.
Oh, that's funny. Well, thank you, I guess. I don't know.
Like, is that a compliment, or what are we at here?
Yeah, no, I really love that angle and aspect to it all where, you know, again, like, people used to come for the trucks, right? Like, people would want to come see Gravedigger. People want to come see Maximum Destruction. Well, I want people to come and see Amy Hood. And I want to leave a lasting impression of, you know, who I am as a driver and an athlete and just an ambassador for Monster Jam and Feld Motorsports. And I want people to come and see Amy Hood.
Yeah. So when they start calling it the Amy Hood truck and they're not calling it the zombie truck, then you know you've made it. They're like, oh, that's Amy Hood's truck, not, oh, that's the zombie truck that Amy Hood just happens to drive. Like, okay.
I'm gonna lay a little bit of hot fire today now. That I had some truck troubles on Saturday. So the first show, we have a pit party before a 1:00 show, and I really got a leveling of who I am versus who is Monster Jam. That's for sure. So my truck was broken, and it couldn't make it out for pit party because my boys are hard at work in the back putting it together to be able to make it out for the show. God bless them. They are fantastic. Like, I can't believe how much I can break and how little of the time it takes them to put it back together for me to race. Like, it's actually outstanding. I think every motocross, you know, rallycross, off-road, desert racing mechanic should be a Monster Jam mechanic. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so instead of having like every other athlete has the big monster truck out at the pit party in their autograph line, you know, the kids are coming up to sign their papers and get their photo taken with the truck. That's what they want. They want a photo with a giant monster truck, right?
Yeah.
Well, my side-by-side was broken, so they couldn't bring that out. So they had to bring out my ATV. And so all these athletes have their big old Monster Jam monster truck, and I have my ATV. And all these kids are, like, coming up to my line, looking at me, looking at the ATV, and just walking away. Jim, it was so bad. It was so embarrassing. And, like, I had also, like, kids asking, hey, are you, like, the halftime show? And, like, parents not knowing what's going on and wondering if I'm, like, the freestyle quad act at halftime. And it was pretty funny. And I came to realize that more kids right now are in love with the zombie monster truck than they are Amy Hood. It was a very humbling experience, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm sure. So we got to take a short break. When we come back, more with Jim Beaver and Amy Hood here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning RZR XP1000. R.J. is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris RZRs to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris RZRs RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris RZR vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? Dirtfish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle, Dirtfish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance, rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZs, Dirtfish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, Dirtfish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit Dirtfish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from Dirtfish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dirtfish Rally. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268-horsepower, turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Jim Beaver, Amy Hood here, just kind of getting things kick-started on another week. I guess Valentine's Day today for you, those of you live online. I guess day after Valentine's for those of you tuning in national syndication. Hopefully you got lucky. And those of you that it's the weekend and you're on the U.S. Armed Forces Network, I don't know what to tell you, man. Thanks, it was, I don't know, Thanksgiving, Valentine's Day. I'm getting them all mixed up. But anyways, there we go.
You just called it Thanksgiving.
Yeah, almost did. It tells you how much I think It tells you how much I think of Valentine's Day. I can't even get it right? I don't know. It's not a real holiday. It's just kind of there.
Yeah, no, it's not. The best thing about Valentine's Day is actually, well, A, today because it lands on a Tuesday and it's Taco Tuesday, but B, is actually February 15th when all of the Valentine's Day chocolate goes on half price.
Yeah. I feel you there. I don't know. To me, there's Halloween and then there's everything else. So.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. I'm the same way. Holiday is my favorite holiday of the year. I actually typically take it off of work. I mean, not if I'm driving a monster truck, but any other day. I use it as a sick day or a holiday day because it's the best day, and I go all out.
Yeah, I don't know. Halloween, I don't know. I like Halloween, so I don't know. Just everything about it. Like, I love the horror. I'm a horror movie fan. You get like a month full of just craptastic horror movies, and I don't know. You get candy corn, and I know you hate candy corn, but I love candy corn, and I don't know, just everything about it. Like, I don't know. You get those crazy stores that pop up in the mall that are there for like 30 days. It's just there for 1 month, and it's just a Halloween only store. I love those places. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Anyways, we got to talk some kind of motorsports at some point today. I guess Supercross a good place to start. I only kind of half got to watch it, but talking about 250s first, man, McElrath, he led 15 laps and bike problems, and that sucked. I think it would have been like, I don't know. That's definitely going to put a hurt on his points championship. I think he's like 25 points back now, and he would have had the win. Oh, Amy, that's bad.
Yeah, I know. It's I mean, someone got fired for sure. It's kind of devastating when something like that happens, especially on the last lap. But I mean, good on Justin Hill. Consistency pays off, if you will. But it was very wild and live action of the 250 motos, and I love it. But I mean, usually I'm all about 250s. I always think that 250s is like the most action packed. You know, you never know who's going to win, but that's not the case this year, Jim. And it's been one awesome 2017 Supercross season. Maybe because Ken Roczen is out, you know, I'm glad he's on the road to recovery. Not as serious as it could have been. But, man, has it opened the floodgates for a new podium champion almost every weekend. And I have to tip my hat off to Marvin Musquin on his very first career win in the 450 class. Congratulations, Marvin. That was one awesome race. And, I mean, he comes off the podium and goes into the press conference after. And, I don't know if you got the chance to see his interview, but, he's the funniest interviewer ever. He's just like, I was just going and, I felt very good and comfortable and, it was no big deal. Like, he just talks like it's just like the easiest thing, like eating lunch,
And he's not even breathing hard either. That's what's crazy. He's totally not even breathing hard. He's like, I just raced the 20-lap main. No big deal.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Well, you see I saw the pictures, and I didn't get to see the final part of the race. But did he heel click over the finish line?
Oh, yeah, of course he does. He always does.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just a rad picture. He had it super extended out. So, Marvin, I don't know, man. This whole point standings, Dungey, obviously he's still out there, but I don't know. This is shaping up to be a good battle.
Oh, no, it's awesome. It's really, really exciting, and I think this win under Marvin's belt is really going to skyrocket him now into – I think we're going to see a very different rider. I think it's going to do a lot for his confidence, and it's going to scare a lot of people. I think Marvin is a force to be reckoned with for sure, and I think now is his time. But, have to hand you off to Cooper Webb, who was finishing in a solid second place, and I think he had bike trouble at the end. I wasn't too sure the overall finishing for Cooper here. Let me just do my research. I'm actually reading up on Taylor Roberts. I don't know, Jim, if you heard that he's had a little bit of some hard luck there at the last round of King of the Motos.
Yeah, I know. And it was.
So it did look like that. Cooper had some bike troubles. Oh, it's too bad. He was in second place, but again, Dean Wilson best finish in 450 class as well by far, finishing in fifth place. I mean, that's it's been a long, hard road for Dean Wilson. Even switching complete rides. On a completely different bike, a whole new, deck of sponsors this year. Good for Dean. He needs it. But, I mean, look at the podium shift. It's Marvin Muscan, Cole Seeley, Jason Anderson. Ryan Dungey wasn't even on the podium.
No, he's in fourth. And
I like it. I like it just because it keeps it open. It keeps it, we know Dungey to be this, like, long power horse, knows how to race for a championship. He knows how to push through at the very end. But, being able to just break the points gap up a bit makes it for a long, interesting season for the whole season.
Yeah.
I love it when we come down to that head-to-head fight in Las Vegas.
Yeah. Well, and I got to say, man, Jason Anderson, another podium for him. And you got to wonder at this point, and I don't even want to call it a punch. It was more like a shove. But he's so, you look at that, and that was 15, 20 points that it cost him, and he'd be right in there in the, in the top three, at this point. And, you just got to know, it's like, oh, man, there's got to be so much regret there. And it was just stupid. Like, it wasn't even a hit. It didn't hurt anybody. I'm not defending it. I'm just saying, man, it was just crap. But I got to give a shout-out, too, back to the 250s, though. And I know you're a big fan of his, but Austin Faulkner, highest ever finish, second place.
Oh, I know. That's awesome. And the poor kid struggled a lot this year. And, man, he's taking some hard hits. I've watched some replays, and oh my goodness, that kid just gets like ragdolled around. So
he's small.
He's definitely, yeah. But he must be built like a brick bull house. Can't use the whole word, but he definitely struggled in his first year. Everyone kind of thought that he was going to be on the top of the box every weekend, but I think it just definitely humbles him and brings him back down to a level where these are the big boys, and he's got to put in his time.
Yeah, and I think last year when he came in, too, he kind of was under the radar, right? Nobody really expected much out of him, and then he showed how fast he was. So it's like this year he's on everybody's radar, and, their elbows stick out a little bit more, and they lean on him a little bit harder. And, I mean, they're not taking it easy on him, let's put it that way. I mean, it's not like they're racing him dirty or anything, but they're racing him a little bit harder.
No. Yeah, exactly.
So it's going to be interesting. I think we could definitely see him break through. I don't know how many are left in the 250 West at this point. Not many. 2-3 races, but I could see him taking sneaking a victory before the end of this thing.
Yeah, well, absolutely, for sure. And again, like it's just anybody's game, but I really do think the heavy hitters, Hill and McElrath are just going to be really hard to beat. Yeah. They're duking it out, and it's going to be a fight to the finish for sure. And I don't think they're going to let any Austin Faulkners by. That's for darn sure.
Yeah, and I know McElrath. He says if I win the championship, I'm moving to 450s next year. So I know he's got some incentive. You know what I mean to lock up this championship. And I know this last round is definitely going to hurt it. But I mean he's riding hard. He wants to move up, which every rider should want to.
Nah, I mean, there's a lot of Martin Davaloses in the world who, like to cheat on their girlfriends and stay in the 250 class forever. So, I gotta hand it off to McElrath. I think that's a smart, wise decision, and I think it shows just what his level of confidence is at. And I think he's saying, hey, I can win 250s, I can win 450s, bring it.
I love your moto knowledge, both not only results and stuff, but like all these guys personally. So it's like you got like the National Enquirer sheets of Supercross, like everybody that's this and that. All the stuff you're not supposed to know.
Motorsports world here, guys. This is the TMZ of motorsports.
Yeah, right.
High action motocross and motorsports race coverage and TMC.
I think between you and Moto and me and off-road, like there's so much stuff I know and I just don't talk about it. And I think you and I quietly have talked about this off the thing, off the air, but it's just crazy the stuff that goes on. And it's like, we just bite our tongue on air 99% of the time, but it's bad.
This isn't off the air. Like, I mean, I don't mean to bring it up on a national syndicated radio show, but I mean, you're going to find it out there the second you click onto any social media website. But he got a little burned. I guess he was talking to some girl's girlfriend, and he's a married man. But, I mean, this is the world of social media. You guys got to watch what you do. And he was sending some not-so-nice things on Snapchat. And, I mean, people just screenshot that stuff and put it on Vital MX and Racer X and everything for the world to see. So you guys got to be careful. You professional athletes who don't like to, who don't believe in monogamy, and just watch what you do. The digital world is a cruel, cruel place for y'all.
Everything is trackable nowadays. It's you got to get an alias or something. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
Ask. I mean, use someone else's phone. Use payphone. I mean, I don't care. Just
Well, I know.
Jesus.
I know even in off-road there was and I won't say what driver it was, but there was somebody that actually catfished him. It was a guy, but he wanted to be able to prove this guy was dirty or something, and so set up this fake girl's account on Instagram and started DMing him and with all these fake pictures, and then the guy started sending stuff back, and against it, and he's married with kids, and it was like it was totally catfished, and it was all fake, but it was like wow, and it all got posted all over the internet, and so. That was like 3 years ago, but it was kind of comedic. So,
wow, that's pretty intense.
Yeah, watch yourself, people. But we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, I got an interview with Shannon Campbell, King of the Hammers winner in UTVs, and I guess the Ultra 4 class. That coming up after the break. So we'll be back on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When RJ Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning RZR XP1000. RJ is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris RZRs to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris RZRs RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris RZR vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Life is all about sound. The sound of sports. The sound at the racetrack. And the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268-horsepower, turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. I'd like to welcome my next guest to the line, Mr. I guess King. We'll just call him King Campbell. I don't know, Shannon Campbell. How's everything going, buddy?
Pretty good. Doing yard work. What are you guys doing?
Doing yard work. So that's what a king does. He wins. He wins the UTV race at King of the Hammers. He wins the Ultra 4 race at King of the Hammers, and he goes home and does yard work.
It's been neglected for a couple of months.
I feel you, man. I get home from racing or something like that, and it's like you got the chore list there. It's like, all right, now let's get down to real business, you know? Oh, man. So, no, man, congratulations. You know, I don't even know where to start. I know let's start with the UTV race. How did this program get put together? Because obviously you've had some success in the Ultra 4s. But you know, all of a sudden you came into the UTV race this year. I mean, how did you approach that differently than you normally, you know, would approach a King of the Hammers event?
Well, to tell you the truth, I just started riding one last year, and I was pretty amazed with the way they worked and stuff, and never really wanted to start racing them. And because that's my fun. Racing seems like work anymore.
Yeah.
But we were, you know, redoing contracts with Monster, and then they came and said, hey, can you do more stuff? You know, do some, maybe some UTV stuff. And I was like, all right, you know. So that's kind of how it fell together. And then we were, you know, got to talking with Polaris, and next thing you know, we're all three at the Hammers. And it was Bailey's. Well, she drove one New Year's Eve for the first time, and Waylon had drove one at Camp Razor for the first time. And so we're like, well, let's just go out there and, you know, take it easy and just kind of see what happens. And I guess we won.
You guess you won, finished 1 and 2, right? Yeah. How different is it to race one of those at you know, at King of the Hammers? I mean, how do you? I mean, do you have to approach the, you know, obviously, you know, tires aren't as big. I mean, they're not quite as tall. They don't have the clearance. I mean, how do you approach it as a driver? Is it any different?
Well, you know what? When I first got into the first rock section, I'm good friends with Mitch Guthrie. That's won it like 7 times, and he took us out when we got there, and we just followed him. And I, to tell you the truth, I thought, oh man, this is going to just destroy my little car here. And we got in there, and that thing goes better than my Ultra 4 car. I tell you the truth, I could just park my Ultra 4 car since it gobbles up so much damn money and race these things. They're so simple and amazingly fast, and it's about the closest thing power to weight ratio to driving my race car, you know, and you wouldn't believe how good they go through the rocks. It's amazing.
Yeah. Well, I know watching you know, race those, and I know it's been something in the back of my mind. I'm like, man, I don't need to build an Ultra 4 car, but I got enough razors around. I'm like, it'd be fun to, you know, race King of the Hammers next year in a UTV. And then all of a sudden I see Shannon Campbell go out and win, and I'm like, well, there goes that idea. I'm like, we got the Campbells just destroying everybody out there now.
I think that anybody could win in them things. You know, a lot of it comes down to luck, and there's so much attrition. I think people just drive them way too hard, you know, and if you take care of it. And I definitely wasn't fast. I think my car was in limp mode for most of the race because we just had some dumb issues, you know. I'm still learning the car. Yeah. And, you know, my daughter actually kicked my butt for most of the day. She was running up front, and then we ended up getting by her. She had a little steering problem. Like when you hit something real hard, there's like in the factory computer, there's a default that kind of makes it hard again. You have to shut it off, and she didn't know that and turn it back on. And so there's things that we're learning, but I think anyone could win in them damn things. They're so, you know, simple and easy, and you've seen how good they go. So
yeah. Well, that being said, I mean, now all of a sudden you guys got these UTVs, and obviously Polaris has got to be pretty excited with your results out there. We're going to see you doing any other UTV stuff. I mean, you're one that you've gone and you dabble in some Best in the Desert events here and there. I mean, any plans to maybe build a desert build of one of those or something?
I don't know about the desert stuff. I kind of like it being a door slammer because when I get home I can take it and go trail riding and do what I really love doing with them. Yeah. And you know, we're working on, as a family, we were talking about trying to put together a deal here in Arizona where we take people and maybe show them how to drive, or let them, you know, show them different, like all my cool little places in Arizona and where we like to hang out and try and get out of the fabrication business. You know.
Yeah, something a little more where you get some fresh air once in a while, right?
Yeah, a lot more while.
Yeah. So
like most of my stuff with the helmet on. So
yeah. Well, and speaking of that, moving on to you know, the big race, King of the Hammers, right? You know, you won this deal before. multiple times. So, going into this, I mean, it's tough, and it's one of those, you've got 5 or 6 guys that everybody knows, all right, these are guys are probably going to be the ones to beat, but it comes a point where anybody can really sneak in there and probably take it. But, I mean, this year in particular, man, you guys, it just seems like it's getting tougher and tougher to win every year. And then you've created your own monster in your kids where now some of your strongest competitors are under the same roof as you, man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But talk a little bit about this year. I mean, and how was it? Because I think I was looking back. Last time we had you on air, I think was maybe 2 years ago. And and I know your kids were just kind of getting into things, at that point. But how have they progressed? I mean, that had to been pretty good moment for you battling with your son there to the finish.
That was probably one of the best things that I've ever done, just racing with both of them all day and watching how good they do, and the things that we've tried teaching them, how to work with them, and just everything that that I've tried doing, and to see how good they've done, and to winning the Hammers didn't really mean anything, but being able to race it with my kids and be that competitive. And when we showed up there, we had a lot on our plate this winter. We did the Razor thing, and I felt like my cars got neglected. I felt like I'm showing up half-assed basically. And I told them, we're just going to go, and we're going to go over there and do laps and come home and regroup and try and get this team in order, and then we go over there and kick butt. And it's like, man, what the hell just happened? I think there's a whole lot of luck and a whole lot of my mom and Chappie Steve praying and all kinds of stuff,
Yeah, definitely. It was, I don't know, how was it? Obviously I wasn't there. I've got my own race projects where we got new race cars being built from the mint and everything else. But I had somebody call me yesterday, and I guess coming down into the finish line there, you and your son were battling. I think, did he get around you? You had flats on the car and were literally driving the tires off of the car. I mean, you got to explain to me. I want to know, in your words, how that last few miles were coming into the finish, because I heard it was just had people on their feet.
Well, it started about, I'm guessing, 20 miles back in a rock trail, and Waylon was up behind some people, kind of like I taught him not to do. I said, stay back where you can always have a line. You know what I mean? If the door gets shut, you got somewhere to go. And I pulled up on him, and he was right up in front of underneath another guy. And I seen the guy above him flag him to go around him. And so I took the hole and went with it. And I was laughing. I was like, yeah, just, thinking, man, I told you not to do that. And I got around him and took off, and we hit the desert. We were supposed to both stop and fuel. And I told him, I said, I'm not fueling. There's no way I'm going to throw this race away. I'll run out of fuel before I stop. And I think Waylon did the same thing. He's on the radio. And so we blew by our checkpoint and left, and we're running across the desert. And I didn't know how close he was to me, but I'd been running without a face shield all day because I got peppered, and it sandblasted it, and I couldn't see nothing out of it. And every now and then I'd hit a little, where you G it out, and it would shovel dirt in my face. And I was cleaning my eyes out, and I looked over, and that sucker was passing me. And I was like, oh no, that ain't gonna happen. And I had remembered this other spot where I'd been kind of shortcutting a corner on the track, and I was like, I know he'll follow the path, and so sure enough, I get there, and he had kind of gone wide, and I popped out of there and jumped the corner and cut it in front of him and got my checkpoint sticker. And then we were on, it was like a long, straight, whooped out section, and it's hard for me to see in dirt. So I was like, man, there was one car in front of me, and I really bonsai'd it trying to get around that guy. And I didn't know how close Waylon was, but I knew if I got by that guy, it would hold him up for a little bit. And well, it didn't. He was all over me, and we dropped into the last little downhill rock section, which is called Resolution, which is basically a one path unless you're kind of crazy. And I'm going down it, and that sucker pulls up beside me again. And I'm like, oh my God. And I had the inside, so I knew he couldn't get around me. And I dropped down in the back door and took the preferred line, and he took the nasty line and dropped right with me. And in the UTV race, the finish line was that back door. So I was thinking, man, what the hell happened? I kind of paused for a second, and he was still going. He must have knew the finish line was at the end, And so we take off again, and we're going through this little canyon, and I tried to shortcut one of the fingers on it, and I jumped, and when I did, I launched and hit the other side of the dirt wall and ripped my tire off, and I'd already had 3 other flats. It was running on the balls, and when I went to turn to climb short bus, it's a big steep hill. Because that tire was flat, it drifted me off, and I almost rolled into like the year before's qualifying course, and he got by me finally, and I was like, oh man, that little sucker. And so I backed up and I hit it, and I gave it everything it had and got over the hill, and coming in, the tire came completely off finally, and we crossed the finish line. And I knew it was going to be close because he qualified in front of me, and he'd started a little up there, and I didn't know if he'd got me or not, but we get up to on the stage and ended up being by 28 seconds that I won. And, you know, I was more proud of him not giving up and letting me have it than winning the race. So that's probably one of the most memorable moments I'll ever have.
Yeah, well, and I know, you know, it's funny hearing you tell those stories because I know it's funny because it's like, you know, you're proud of your kids, but at the end of the day, you know, you're like, I'm not giving it to them, you know, and I talk, you know, and I know you're friends with the Guthries, and I talk with Mitch Sr. and Mitch Jr., and Jr. and Sr., they got the whole thing, and Jr. always says, the prince is coming for the king, and, you know, and I just laugh because I see the same thing happening over there at, you know, at the Campbell household, you know, and I think, you know, you guys, it's just got to be a ton of fun racing with your kids like that, you know, to the finish line.
It is. It made it fun, and you know, I've given him a lot, given him the knowledge and the tools to beat me with. He's just going to have to beat me on his own.
Yeah. So what's up next for you guys this year, Shannon? Obviously, Ultra 4 Series. We're going to see you. I know every once in a while you bounce into some Best in the Desert. What's the plans for you guys this year?
Well, this year I think what we got a lot of. We're doing the East and the West Ultra 4, all 3 of us, and then my next race will be in Texas, and then the next weekend after that I think is the UTV World Championships, and we'll all 3 be there. And then we go to Moab right after that race is over for the week, and I mean, it's just like a never-ending story. And then we're planning on trying to do the Baja 1000 again this year, and
okay.
If there's any time in between, I'll probably hit some other stuff.
Yeah. Living out of the motorhome this year, right? Oh, man.
That's pretty much it.
Well, Shannon, I appreciate you taking the time to call in, my friend. Congratulations on on the victories, and and congratulations on your kids, man. Both of them are just killing it, and I don't know. We'll have to get them on the show at some point and chat with them, and just super proud of your kids, and congrats to you on the win.
Well, thank you guys very much.
All right. Thanks a lot, Shannon. We'll catch up soon, buddy.
Okay. Have a good day.
Yeah, you too. Bye. All right. That was Shannon Campbell, your Ultra 4 King of the Hammers winner, King of the UTVs winner. I don't know what the formal announcement or the formal name of that event is, the UTV one, but I would just call it King of the UTVs. Yeah, man, just a class act, family guy. His kids coming up, and Waylon and Bailey just killing it. And, man, it's, you're going to hear the Campbell name for some time to come, that's for sure. But we're going to take a short break here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Got a little rally news coming at you after the break. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty Radio Show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it. So when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor.
The concert that never was.
Champagne.
Yeah. See the Barbra Streisand and Frank Sinatra tribute show Saturday, February 18th inside the showroom at the Blue Water Resort and Casino.
I get a kick out of you.
Doors open at 5. Show starts at 6 p.m. Arizona time. Tickets on sale now. General admission just $20 or VIP tickets only $35. Don't miss the tribute to Sinatra and Streisand at the Blue Water Resort and Casino. Grammy-nominated country sensation Trace Atkins live in concert inside the amphitheater at the Blue Water Resort and Casino Saturday, February 25th. Gates open at 2. Show starts at 3 p.m. Arizona time with general admission advance tickets just $50. VIP tickets $80. Tickets on sale now. Concert goers, don't miss out on your chance to win $500 in cash and an autographed guitar following the show. Please see the club for full details.
For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Do you race or are you a weekend warrior? Have you checked on the date on your helmet recently? Don't get caught off guard by using an outdated helmet. Impact Racing, the leader in motorsport safety, has new SA 2015 helmets to fit your budget. Whether you're looking for a helmet with a full carbon fiber shell to take you to victory at the Indy 500 or just looking for some helmets for a weekend at Glamis, Impact Racing has a helmet for you. Find out more information at impactraceproducts.com or on Facebook at Impact Safety. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Just getting done with Shannon Campbell, killing it at King of the Hammers, and always good catching up with Shannon. Man, we don't do it often enough, but an absolute legend. And his kids, man, just killing it as well. Always a good thing to catch up with Shannon Campbell. But right now we got our Dirtfish Rally Report for this week, brought to you by our good friends at Dirtfish Rally School. Find out more information on the web at www.dirtfish.com. And you can use that coupon code JBDirtfish. It'll net you quite a bit off of each rally class when you book there online. So, moving into Dirtfish Rally Report, biggest news right now, World Rally Championship, and Toyota taking their very first ever WRC victory at Rally Sweden. Up next on the calendar, Rally Mexico, one of my favorite rounds, but Rally Sweden, Jari Matti Latvala taking the very first ever victory. I shouldn't say very first ever victory, but with the new program, first victory of the year for Toyota, right? We got Tonic in second, Sebastian Ogier in third, a couple of M Sports there on the podium, and then Hyundai with Sordo in fourth, Citroen with Breen rounding out the top five. You know, kind of bummer, man. I think, with M Sport, Hyundai, Toyota, Citroen, if we only had Volkswagen back this year, man, it'd make for some epic battles in WRC, but it is not to be had with Toyota or with Volkswagen, I guess, whatever their financial struggles are. So kind of a bummer, but still some really good racing. Always good to see Toyota take a victory, or a new team to the series take a victory. And lots of competition there with M Sport as well. So. Good seeing that shaping up. Ogier taking the first victory at Monte Carlo, one of my favorite rounds. And then Sweden, we've had Toyota. So Mexico, man, it's anybody's game coming up. But that was your Dirtfish Rally Report for this week, brought to you by our good friends at Dirtfish Rally School. Find out more information on the web at www.dirtfish.com. And don't forget, use that code JBDirtfish for 15% off of your classes at Dirtfish Rally School. And we are going to take a short commercial break here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. And we will be back with more right after this.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning Razor XP1000. RJ is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris Razors to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris Razors RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris Razor vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Getting ready to kick off hour number 2 of your favorite action motorsports radio show. And those of you tuning in to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, thank you very much. Powered by Polaris Razor. Thank you guys very, very much. Man, we are over 5 years here, pumping out some great action motorsports content and a little bit more. Myself and Amy Hood. Thanks to all you guys who listen in and review on iTunes and wherever you tune in, man. Between Sports Byline Podcast 1, Spreaker, iTunes, the U.S. Armed Forces Network, iHeartRadio. I don't know. We're something where I think we're over 700 places now. It's crazy. Think about that, 700 places. But I do have my new show, Project Action. Thanks to all of you who have supported that. We got some amazing interviews. Like today, we've got an interview. We're starting here with Colton Haaker, something I pre-taped, and it's basically, it's coming up after the Joe Duncan segment, but it's something that it was so long that we're going to air part of it here, and then we are going to air the rest on Project Action Uncut. So you can go over to Project Action. We've got a lot of action sports content. We've had Nate Wessel on air, Pastrana, Ken Block, Street Bike Tommy, Ashley Kidd, the world champion wake surfer. We do a lot of action sports talk, some MMA talk, a lot of auto racing and motorsports talk as well. We talk about some of the stuff we don't talk about here over there. So those of you kind of looking for an extension of the Down and Dirty Radio Show, uncut, less advertising, longer interviews, more in-depth, and a few four-letter words tossed in. You can definitely go over to Podcast One. It's Project Action. You can get it at Podcast One or the Down and Dirty Radio Show website. But I ask all of you to go and rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes. And when you leave that review, if you leave your @Twitter, Instagram username in the body of the review, I will make sure and follow you back on Instagram, or Twitter, whichever. Whatever your fancy is, I will follow you there. So just make sure and leave that in the comments. And there's that survey going on. And like I said, to start the show, please go and take that survey over at Podcast One. Just go to Podcast One's right on the front page. It says survey, massive. You can do it on your phone or your computer or your tablet. But make sure and take that survey. And when you do, just make sure and click the boxes for Project Action and Down and Dirty Show. We'll get a little bit of info about you. It's all anonymous. You don't have to put in your email address or none of that. But that way it helps us, with the demographics of who's actually listening to this show. So I know you're listening, so I just want to know a little bit more about you. And it's anonymous, and it helps me out, helps, keep everything free to listen to. So, but we're going to take a short break. We come back at Joe Duncan with Teracross. He's on the line here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty Radio Show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it. So when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor.
The concert that never was.
Champagne. Yeah.
See the Barbara Streisand and Frank Sinatra tribute show Saturday, February 18th inside the showroom at the Blue Water Resort and Casino.
I get a kick out of you.
Doors open at 5. Show starts at 6 p.m. Arizona time. Tickets on sale now. General admission just $20 or VIP tickets only $35. Don't miss the tribute to Sinatra and Streisand at the Blue Water Resort and Casino.
Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver here, waiting on Joe Duncan to call in. It's kind of like par for the course, right? My buddy Joe Duncan went Teracross. I don't remember the last time we had him on air was, but it's been a while, and this is kind of his spot. But he's just dragging his feet a bit. It's all right. Well, Joe, we'll send him a text and see see what is going on with Mr. Joe Duncan. But yeah, man, it's been a fun show so far. Thanks to all you guys who keep locked and loaded here every week with me. I know I've been getting a lot of questions there for a while. I was killing it with the Facebook live streams, right? I was kind of adding on in between the two shows, doing that, talking about what's going on. I got a massive amount to talk about. I literally it's kind of crazy. Like I have a lot to talk about, but I'm so busy that I haven't been able to talk about it, on a Facebook Live. So I'm hoping either today or tomorrow, like I can sit down and we can dial that in and chat about it. And yeah, it's just we'll doing our best to get those out there, but it's just it's just one of those things, man. Trust me. Like after the Mint 400, things are gonna they'll ease up a bit. And, then I'll be able to get back into the groove of things. We got this massive project going on and just haven't been able to tell you guys about it, but it's coming, I promise. But Joe Duncan here, I'd like to welcome him to the line. I don't know, Joe, you are about as busy as I am, my friend, and I know it's been a while since we've had you on. I don't know if have we even had you on air since the beginning of the year, maybe once?
Once, I think, Jimmy, once. But we've been traveling, as you know, and just got wrapped up with the one of the best Winter X Games ever. 20 years of doing the Winter X Games, and what another amazing year in Aspen, Colorado. Yeah,
I talk about it with the interview with Colton here in a bit. That's pre-tape. We're airing part of it here, and then like it's in its entirety this week on Project Action because it went that long. But talking with him, and we both kind of agreed on it. I think snowbike were this year was the year everybody kind of discovered it. Next year is the year that the roof blows off of it, Joe. I think next year it's the next big thing, and I think next winter is when that just explodes.
Yeah, it's already started after everybody's seen it on in the X Games. The calls are already coming in. The racers, the manufacturers, the sponsors, and asking what's next. So we got some things up our sleeves, and working with some great partners, Timber Sled and Camso, and the bike manufacturers, and pretty exciting stuff. And the cool thing is, there's a lot of big name motocross guys that are very interested in the future of snow bikes. So pretty cool setup.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's something different for a lot of guys. When you look like a guy like Feist, and it kind of reinvigorated him. But even a guy like Colton, Haaker, and like he was saying, he's like, man, he's like, it looks so cool. He's like, I hate the snow. I've literally only been in the snow 4 or 5 times in my life. And he's like, but he's like, the snow bike looks so fun. He's like, even though I hate the snow, I still had to go and do it,
Well, I think there's so many people that in the wintertime are looking for something to do, and they have an extra bike or they have their regular bike sitting there, and you can throw one of these, Timber Sled kits on, and probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours maybe at the most. You go out, you can ride it, and spring's coming. Switch it back over to your tires, and away you go. I think it's a great stepping stone into the snowmobile world. I think a lot of people, pricing of snowmobiles and obviously the weather and everything, so people are kind of a little hesitant, but I think now this is a great step for people to get out, get riding, and then introduce themselves to the world of snowmobiling as well, which as you know, I've been a part of for 25, 26 plus years, and once they experience it, they can't go back. They got to keep riding and riding and riding.
Yeah, you've got a pretty bad sickness, Joe. You've like the whole power sports industry between snowmobiles and razors and ATVs and snow bikes. It's got its hooks in you bad, my friend.
Yeah, it's a beautiful problem to have. That's for sure. I've been very, very fortunate with a lot of things, and this is one of them. And it's really cool to be able to introduce a new sport thanks to X Games and all the great people there, and be able to bring the sport of snow bike cross to the masses. And from here, it's endless where it can go, and to ride these things out in the mountains and the deep powder, and then to bring them to a racetrack and build a racetrack that's specifically for the snow bikes sure has made it pretty exciting.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, even at X Games, I think that it's still a matter of figuring out what works for snow bikes, right? I mean, X Games, obviously, I think everybody can agree at this point, maybe it was just a little bit too short of a track, but we don't really know what works for them yet because it's still such a new sport,
Well, that's what we're learning every day. The great thing was we were able to test and tune at ERX and dial things in before the X Games, and got it with the amount of area they were able to give us. We were able to build a track that really played well on television, really lent itself well to some great racing, and that's our first event. Imagine what it's going to be like as we go down the road in the future here, and be able to plan a little bit better, knowing a little bit more, and being able to create these things. There's some other things in the works. I don't know if, who saw it or who didn't see it, but good old Jackson Strong, Jacko, he did a freestyle snow bike demo. Kind of hasn't been on a snow bike, more than 10 times, and he put together a ramp setup, and he was doing basically all of his upright tricks on a snow bike, and they looked amazing. There's some great photos on the qualifier and on the Teracross social media sites, but just the stuff that he was able to pull off, and who knows where that might go in the future. I mean, you start getting these guys to be able to ride these things like they do a dirt bike, the options are endless.
Yeah, and that's it. I think the sky's the limit, figuring out where the sport's headed. But speaking of where sports are headed, we got a couple of minutes left. But what's the latest news on Teracross? Because I know we're back for 2017.
We're on 2017. CBS Sports Network back on board. We got some really cool things in the works with them for this upcoming season for the shows. We'll be back at Heydays again this year. We'll be in North Carolina, it looks like. We're working on dates and actual location. And then we've got something pretty cool up our sleeves. We're in negotiating right now stages, but looking at July, August, September for our points championship and building that three race doubleheader series up and right back on television again. We got some great athletes that are coming on board this year. Jackson Strong is putting together something with us. Bilko looks like he's coming back. Ronnie Renner, if his schedule opens up like it looks like it might, he's going to be on board. And then all of our top racers. Jason Luber coming back, going to be moved into the turbo class, which I think we've talked about before, that we will have the turbos this year. As a matter of fact, Polaris has already have us the turbos. Most of the turbos for the class is sitting at K2 Motorsports at the Teracross race shop, already getting prepped for the season. RJ Anderson in one of the turbos, Ronnie Anderson in an XD1000, Shelby Anderson, Sarah Price, and Jolene Van Vute, and the rest of the pro women's class coming back. And we already have some of our hero military guys after last year's television shows. The hero military guys, Paul Factor and some others, Jeff Skates and the gang from Optimus, are helping put together the hero military class and making that happen.
Nice. Sounds like it's going to be one heck of a year. I'm excited to be on board. But we gotta let you off the hook, Joe. We got Colton Haaker coming up in the next segment, my friend.
Sounds great. I'll talk to you soon, Jimmy. Thank you.
All right. Thanks a lot, Joe.
All right. Bye.
Okay. All right. That was Joe Duncan with Teracross, and we'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning RZR XP1000. R.J. is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris RZRs to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris RZRs RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris RZR vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle and Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Grammy-nominated country sensation Trace Atkins live in concert inside the amphitheater at the Blue Water Resort and Casino Saturday, February 25th. Gates open at 2, show starts at 3 p.m. Arizona time, with general admission advance tickets just $50. VIP tickets $80. Tickets on sale now. Concert goers, don't miss out on your chance to win $500 in cash and an autographed guitar following the show. Please see the club for full details.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. A 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. I'd like to welcome my next guest to the line, Colton Haaker. You've had a couple of solid weeks, man. I can't say coming off a good weekend because, I don't know, the past couple of weeks been pretty solid for you, man.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for having me on. The last couple of weeks have been good. Crazy, no doubt. I've been doing everything from riding in the snow on a timber sled snow bike to an X Games to King of the Motos, and it's been fun, but it's also been a lot of work.
Yeah. Well, before we talk King of the Motos, because that's the most recent, I do want to skip back, talk a little snow bike with you, man. I know I was up there in Minnesota for the qualifier, and I don't know, we weren't able to get linked up there, but and I don't know, I've been kind of following the whole snow bike thing. How did that door open for you into snow bike? Because I know everybody's kind of had a different door open into that, and I keep saying I think we're like one riding season away from this thing exploding and the roof blowing off of it, and I think next winter is going to be that year. But, I mean, how did the whole doors open to you in snow bike?
You know, I think with it going to X Games, Husqvarna and Rockstar, they wanted a rider, at least one rider in it, and so they talked, amongst themselves about who they think would be a good fit. And, my name was brought up quite a bit because of my versatility as a racer. And they just gave me the opportunity, and I was like, hey, I've never ridden. I don't particularly like the snow. Like, honestly, I was in the snow 3 times in the last 10 years. I was in the snow about 3 times. And, the snow isn't exactly my deal. When it rains in Southern California, it snows in, Big Bear. But when it rains in Southern California, I'm on my dirt bike. I'm ripping just fresh, rain water, on the ground. So, when I got the opportunity, I was like, yeah, I'll check it out. So we went up to Minnesota to the qualifier, and because of my crazy schedule, I had just flown from, I believe, Germany to the qualifier, and I didn't really have any time to get ready. So they kind of waved me through on the qualifier. You didn't have to race, but they said, hey, you're going to put in the time and the work, and then, we'll give you the, as long as you show up at the qualifier, we'll give you the invite to X Games. So after the qualifier, I had a little more time on my hands to actually ride the thing and train and get ready, and had about 7 days on it. And then we went to X Games and pulled down a silver medal, which was more than I expected and awesome.
Yeah, that was a wild final. It was a ton of laps on a short course, and I don't know how you guys even saw, because I think it was about lap 2 or 3. You guys are already into lap traffic, and it was a wild final, man. I think lead changes, and I know at one point you were sitting back at, 4th, and then all of a sudden you jumped up to silver medal spot, and I don't know, it was an exciting final.
Yeah, for sure. It kind of lended itself to that because the lap times were so short. Like, the track was really short. It was only 26-second lap times, and we were all really close. Even in the fast lap, I think the top 5 were separated by like 0.2 tenths of a second. So 5 guys were all within the same pace with each other. So it kind of lent itself to getting a good start, not making mistakes, and just stuff happened. There was a lot of X Games rookies. It was the first year that snow bike had been, in X Games. So there was, I came from a different discipline, so I was not an X Games rookie. I was a winter X Games rookie, but I wasn't an X Games rookie. And mostly everyone else in the race was. So I figured there was going to be some mistakes, and people were going to get, a little nervous, and that's exactly what happened. Guys went down and made mistakes, and then I just moved my way up through the field and and held down second.
Yeah. How was that finding out, basically you're getting to go back to X Games? Because I know I think you had a silver medal. What was it back in when they did like the global X Games, right? Was it one of the European rounds, correct? You took a silver over there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got silver in Barcelona, and, I did X Games, I think maybe 6 times in Endurocross, and the best I got was second. There was, I think, 4 years that I was either in the lead or battling for the lead in 4 different X Games, where I felt like I had the speed, and I just made a mistake. I succumbed to the pressure. I made a dumb error, and it cost me, 4 medals that, I felt like easily could have been golds. Water under the bridge now, but that was something that I remembered, and I was not very happy about it. So then when I got the opportunity to go back to X Games, there was just no way I was going to let that happen again.
Yeah, I mean, you felt like, you feel like there was a little redemption. I mean, because I know me. I mean, I was a massive fan of Endurocross and X Games, and for one reason or another, I mean, X Games changes, and every few years they like to bring in new events and get rid of some. And I was really bummed out when Enduro was one of the events to go. And I mean, I'm sure you as an Endurocross rider, that had to have been quite the bummer. So all of a sudden, Snowbike comes in, you're like, all right, I'm back in X. It's complete different discipline, but there had to have been some excitement there.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, when I went to go do it, it was just that new challenge, and I already had a lot going on. Like I said, I got back from Europe. I did my Super Enduro. I'm doing my Super Enduro World Championship right now, and I was in Poland and then Germany, and I just didn't have a lot of time to get ready. But I did the most of what I could, and like I said, the opportunity was there, and I just want to try Snowbike. It looked cool every time I saw anyone do it. I was like, "Val, that looks awesome," So obviously there was that to want to go, enough there that I want to go. But I think it can grow and it'll get better, and I think next year you're going to see a lot more interest in it from other guys, as well as. Man, I think you're going to see the evolution of the kits, the track kits and the skis, and guys are going to be a lot more dialed in next year, especially guys that can do it more year-round than like me that was in Southern California.
Yeah. So let's talk a little King of the Hammers, man, because I know you're former Hammers champ back in 2015. Coming back to Hammers this year, and when you won in 2015, the format drastically different than this year. Heading into Hammers, I mean, how did you approach this year with a different, it was like 3 segments, right? And then I think segment number 1 was wild to me because it was a night segment. But, how was it? How did you approach this Hammers differently than the others? Because the event format was changed quite a bit from when you won last time.
Yeah, for sure. It was definitely different. They change it every year. Jimmy Lewis is the race organizer for King of the Motos, which is like a subset of King of the Hammers week, which is rock crawlers racing, in Johnson Valley. So King of the Motos gets the week started for all the trucks. And Jimmy Lewis likes to mess with the format a lot just to keep us on our toes. I didn't have any time going into this race. I got back from X Games in Aspen. While I was in Aspen, my dog ended up becoming paralyzed out of nowhere. He didn't get hit or do anything. He just got a stroke of the spinal cord. So he ended up getting paralyzed, and my wife had to fly home to take care of him. And he was like in the hospital that pretty much halfway through that next week. So that next week after Aspen, I was supposed to get ready for King of Motos and go up there and practice, but we were taking care of my dog Coda and trying to figure out, basically how to handle him, the whole time. So I didn't have any time to get ready, but when I went in, I just had an open mind, and I knew that the format was going to lend itself to people going the wrong way, and I just stayed on course, hit all the checkpoints, which was really important for the GPS markings. The night race was crazy. I didn't ride at night at all coming in. I rode 30 minutes with Baja Designs in my backyard on my Teracross track, which I could pretty much ride with my eyes closed anyways. Yeah. So the night testing it was good to try it, but at the same time, I had no practice coming in. So when I got to the race for the night race, it was the dust made this like gnarly mirrored like fog in front of you where you couldn't see your hand in front of you, which was crazy. I didn't know that was going to happen. And I just rode solid. I just rode solid and clean and just did the best I could. Unfortunately, on the next day, after the night race, which was Saturday night, Sunday morning, we had 2 races on Sunday. The first morning race was more of a desert style race. My friend and buddy Taylor Robert ended up going down. And so I kind of stopped, made sure that he was all right. He was at the time, he was unconscious. So, when I stopped for him, the rest of the race stopped as well. All the other racers behind me stopped. And then we made sure Taylor was all right. They got a helicopter for him, and then we resumed our race. And then the final race, I finished second to Cody Webb, who ended up going the wrong way on the last check. He missed one checkpoint. So he crossed, in first at the finish line. But, the rules were basically you had to hit all these checkpoints on a map. Yeah. So let's say there was 19 checkpoints in the final race. Cody hit 18. He missed the last one, which pretty much I inherited the win because of that. So like I said, just not a lot of preparation, but having an open mind and just knowing that Jimmy Lewis likes changing it up, it just things are going good. Things are just rolling for me, and I'm just trying to keep the rubber side down at this point, and I'm just having a lot of fun riding. Just having fun riding, and actually been doing a lot of videos myself, filming and editing all the videos on this company I started called Playco. And it's on the YouTube channel. So I'm doing like daily videos, pretty much, at least 3 to 4 a week. So they're called vlogs. They're like video logs. Yeah. And they're just like kind of like a look into what I'm doing most of the days and a little more in depth into my life. So that's been pretty fun.
And that is it for this portion of the Colton Haaker interview. If you want the full thing, uncut, uncensored, all 30-plus minutes of it, Project Action this Thursday. It drops at midnight Pacific time, Thursday morning, or 12:01, I guess. But it'll be available Thursday. Project Action on Podcast One, my website, downanddirtyshow.com, or iTunes. Make sure and go and rate, review, subscribe at iTunes right now, and it'll pop right into your iDevice immediately Thursday morning. But the full thing, it's epic, uncut, Project Action, dropping this Thursday. We'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty Radio Show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it. So when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry. It's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Very happy to welcome my next guest to the line, a man who needs no introduction, Mr. Robin Leach. How's everything going, Robin?
Getting ready to lower the green flag.
I know. How?
And then the checkered flag.
Well, I got to ask you, I mean, Robin Leach, I mean, I've, known you for years, or known of you for years, but how did you get tied in with a Mint 400? Obviously, it's in Las Vegas. That's where you live. I mean, there's a big tie-in there, but how did this whole deal happen?
Well, being very honest, my son Stephen, who lives down in Southern California, has been fascinated with off-road racing, I think, since he was 3 years of age. And he was a member of the pit crew for a long, long time on the Baja 500 for the McMillan real estate team. And so, naturally, you follow your son's activities, and, he would send me text messages, emails from life on the road on the Baja 500. And that led to photos, and then that led to videos. And I said to myself, these people are crazy. And, once you've got your first fix, you're hooked. And we have some racers here in Las Vegas, B.J. Baldwin, Dan Blitzeran, who do some crazy. I mean, they're crazy. They're nut jobs when they go into the desert and race these cars that, they trick out for hundreds of thousands of dollars just to go from point A to point B over very bumpy roads in the thrill of seeking victory. I began following it, and then I met Matt, who's the organizer of the Mint 400, and, he discovered that I lived right here in Las Vegas, and I do a lot to promote the city. And he said, would you like to be the Grand Marshal? And sort of that all fits in as a continuation of my son's getting me involved with off-road racing.
Yeah, well, I got to ask you, obviously your son's involved. You've been in Vegas. You know B.J. Baldwin. Have you ever had the chance to actually ride in a trophy truck or a Razor or something out there in the desert? Anybody taking you for a ride yet?
I think my bones are too old at this stage of my life that I'm a better viewer than I'm a participant.
I think
those are for young kids who don't mind having their entire body shaken to the core.
Yeah.
I'm getting on a bit now, so I need to protect the fragility of my body.
Yeah. Well, and I know, bring us up to date, because I know, most people, it was, I guess what put you on the map, really. I know there was a lot of journalistic stuff you did, but, Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. But I know, from what I understand, you're just as active now, in Las Vegas as you ever were. I mean, you're staying pretty busy.
That's the understatement of the year. Well, I started out on CNN, moved over to Entertainment Tonight, which led to Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, which led to a happy, contented 5-year run developing the Food Network, and in both Lifestyles and with the Food Network, getting to know chefs and their culinary skills. I said to myself, the next job is to make these guys celebrities. And that, in a long, circuitous route, led to coming to Las Vegas and bringing lots of those celebrity chefs to open restaurants here. And once finding myself in love with the city of Las Vegas, I decided to stay, mainly because it was like another blank canvas to fill in that had never been really done before. And now we have a daily website at the Review Journal, and we do special interviews every Friday and Sunday for the biggest newspaper in town. So, yes, I keep very busy, and we still have our hand in, TV shows that come to Vegas. It's a very exciting life. It's been an amazing journey. It's like an off-road race in itself, There are bumps, there are ups and downs, and you come out the winner.
Yeah, well, and I'm sure a lot of things. I know I was just doing a little research for this, and I mean, just in motorsports, I think you did some announcing for NASCAR a few years back at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. I mean, you must get a lot of opportunities with different things coming into Vegas, like the Mint or NASCAR, just to be able to participate.
Yep. Las Vegas is a magnet for many events, and a lot of them have to do with high speed. So yes, I've been out to NASCAR. I think it was for 4 consecutive years of announcing the drivers, having met them during race week when they burn their donuts down the strip, and then continuing on out to NASCAR every March, and it's coming up again. I'm not going to do it this year because of a conflict in dates, but that's a huge weekend to us, it's our Daytona 400.
Yeah, it's a massive weekend. I mean, casinos are full. I mean, restaurants are full. It's standing room only at a lot of places. It's definitely a big weekend, and I think the Mint 400 is becoming one of those type weekends for Las Vegas as well.
Well, we hope so, because the Mint 400 is really part of the history of the city of Las Vegas. It started out as a promotion for the Mint Hotel, and it's now grown to where the number of cars is almost 400. I think we're at 358 vehicles entered this year for the 59-mile loop from the outskirts of Las Vegas down to Primm on the California-Nevada border, and then back up. I mean, Drew Deckman from the Baja is going to be the guest celebrity chef to look after the spectators. I think there are 6 spectator zones set up around the course, and the races. One part of the race starts at sunrise, and the second part of the race starts at high noon. So it's going to be a very, very exciting weekend.
Yeah. Well, I got to ask, switching gears a little bit before we let you go. It's something that, you know what I mean, I've always wondered, and then, I get a chance to interview you, so I'm definitely going to ask it, but, back, especially when you were doing Lifestyles, and even now, I mean, you've been around some of the greatest chefs in the world. You've been around, some of the biggest celebrities in the world, some of the nicest homes in the world. When was the last time something you walked in, because you've seen so many things, when was the last time something just took your breath away and you went, wow, that is impressive?
I always answer this question by saying it'll be the next one, because you're right. I've seen it, done it. The big new toy, as it were, in the arsenal of rich people, of course, is the battle between the billionaires over their jets and their yachts. Yachts always take my breath away in terms of what they put on it. You think of a yacht as an ocean-going vessel, and yet there are yachts built with helicopter pads so that the owner of the yacht can, just dial up his pilot any time from cabin number 14 and say, we're going to the mainland, and, up and away. So yachts, the size of yachts, the luxuries of yachts, yachts with hospitals on operating rooms on board, yachts with nightclubs and discotheques on board. Those are the things that really blow me away. House-wise, I've seen everything. I mean, I think the biggest house, one of the biggest houses we ever saw was the one in Australia, where it was so big that they had chauffeur-driven Rolls-Royce take you from your bedroom suites down to the main living room and dining rooms on a road inside the house.
Oh, wow.
I guess that guy could do off-road racing and start a new trend inside your home.
Indoors, yeah. Well, that leads me to the next question. I mean, I'm a car guy. I make a living in the car industry, but driving race cars and talking about cars and things like that. So I got to ask you, what's money no object? What is Robin Leach going to park in his driveway?
Well, it would obviously have to be a Lamborghini, wouldn't it? If I could afford one of those. But I'm very happy. I have a brand new 2017 Lincoln Continental, which I think is the dream regular car. I've owned it about 7 weeks. I'm still finding every day I drive it one new gadget inside it to make life easy and more comfortable. For a drive of not a regular commute, but if you're taking the car out for a weekend, as I'm going to do this weekend with a drive from Las Vegas up to Duck Creek, Utah, massaging seats, heat seats, the fact that you can now drive 200 miles and get out of the car and your legs don't feel like a pretzel because they have the extendable leg rest built into the seat, I think is just pure genius.
Yeah.
And then my other car is a 2007 Jaguar, which is there because I'm British, and Jaguar was British at the time. Now I think it's now German, but I take the Jag on a long haul road trip from Vegas down to San Diego, and it's a joy to drive. So those are my two cars in the garage.
Yeah, well, I think you got a couple of nice cars in the garage, as far as I'm concerned. But well, I appreciate you taking the time for the interview, Robin. I know Mint 400, we're a couple of weeks out. I'm sure Mint Week, you got we got the parade down the Strip. We got stuff on Fremont Street.
We have the parade on the Strip. We have the parade on Fremont Street East, on the Fremont Street Experience, and come on down. It'll be a grand time for absolutely everybody, whether you're a car enthusiast, an off-road driver, or whatever. Just come and enjoy the fun. Las Vegas is great. The weather will be fantastic. You couldn't ask for a better week.
No, I think it's going to be phenomenal. One last question before we go. Is there any possible way you'll leave us with your signature catchphrase?
Both the Mint 400 is a champagne wish and a caviar dream come true.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Robin. I appreciate the time, and I'm emceeing things down on Fremont Street, so I'm sure we'll catch up.
We'll bump into each other, definitely.
All right. Thanks a lot, Robin.
Take care. Have a great day.
Yeah, you too. Well, it certainly isn't every day that you get Robin Leach of Lifestyles and the Rich and Famous and many other things on your radio show. I don't know if that was a bucket list thing or I don't know what you'd call it, but I don't know. That's kind of one you put on, you put that up on the wall on the check mark for sure. Robin Leach. And to get his signature catchphrase on your show. I don't know, man. I'm kind of feeling it right now. But, oh, man, awesome getting him. I was pretty impressed with his off-road knowledge. I gotta give him a little bit of credit. You never know. And he's done his homework, and, I don't know. He's got some roots in the off-road community. Kind of cool there. But just honestly, honor to have him. Stoked he's going to be at the Mint 400 and, be our grand marshal out there as we head off into the desert. But good times with Rob and Leach. We are going to take a short break here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. We'll be back after this. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty Radio Show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it. So when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our RZR vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of RZR vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a RZR 170 like me, take the entire family out in a RZR XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new RZR XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris RZR. Check out the full Polaris RZR lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights. Do you race or are you a weekend warrior? Have you checked on the date on your helmet recently? Don't get caught off guard by using an outdated helmet. Impact Racing, the leader in motorsport safety, has new SA 2015 helmets to fit your budget. Whether you're looking for a helmet with a full carbon fiber shell to take you to victory at the Indy 500 or just looking for some helmets for a weekend at Glamis, Impact Racing has a helmet for you. Find out more information at impactraceproducts.com or on Facebook at Impact Safety. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Just kind of capping things off here on another edition of the Down and Dirty Radio Show. Another stacked lineup today. Man, we got a lot of royalty, man, in between King of the Hammers winning two of them this year. Shannon Campbell, 3 total in the Ultra 4s, winning a UTV one. Colton Haaker, Endurocross champ. He's King of the Motos champ, X Games silver medalist this year, and then Robin freaking Leach. Definitely a pretty big show. Lots of fun, man. Thanks to all you guys for tuning in, keeping it locked and loaded here, and all the support of the Down and Dirty Radio Show. Couldn't do it without you guys. Make sure and go over to iTunes, rate, review, subscribe to this and Project Action, and catch that Colton Haaker interview this Thursday in its entirety on Project Action when it drops. Supercross Mint 400 coming up. Got to give a shout-out to Polaris Razor, General Tire, Subaru, Casey Highlights, Gibson, Dirtfish, Impact, Teracross, Blue Resort and Casino. Follow me. It's at JimBeaver15. Amy is at AmyHood71. And don't forget that Project Action survey. Go to podcast1.com, and then it's survey right on top. Make sure and click the box for Down and Dirty Show and Project Action, and use that coupon code JBDirtfish at Dirtfish Rally School for a good chunk of change off of each class you guys sign up for. Thanks a lot. Thanks to all our guests. As always, be safe, and we will see you this Thursday on Project Action over on Podcast One. We'll see you later. Game on.